What is up? Welcome back to another live stream. I'm Cal Barton. It's good to see everybody this weekend. I just want to say what's up to F. Davis. And we got a few people in here that I have to just thank, especially Raul and Danny. Thank you for being channel members for over 9 months. I really appreciate you sticking with me. It's been over a year now. So it's really good to have these, have you guys long-term hanging out with me. We got ISO Jr. Cinna Madness, what's up? And we got to discuss, we're going to read some of your comments in a few. We'll discuss that. Ms. Barton, how you doing? Christoph, and let me not forget Mojo. Yes, I saw you yesterday in the live stream. Definitely appreciate the shout out. We were in another live stream with a different creator in the credit card niche. So it's really good to see other people, get into this space and share their opinions. What we have here? Dark Dude 2000, what's up? Johnny Jimenez, Team Queen Beast, what's up? Ron, I see you. All right, so let's start with the first of the news here. Let's see if I can get this loaded up. Let me get back on the screen. All right, so let's start with this. 49% of those with financial anxiety say it's significant. So a mid-April survey from the U.S. News and World Report focused on individuals who say they worry about their finances. Among them, nearly half of respondents report experiencing significant financial anxiety, and an additional 34% said they feel at least a moderate amount of financial anxiety. Nearly 29% say high prices are the primary causes of their financial anxiety. Almost 59% report that they don't have an emergency fund, and 77% believe their financial anxiety will stay the same or increase over the next year. So to me, sorry guys, you said the music's too loud. Definitely got to get that. All right, shut that down. Is that better? Let me know if it's better. F. Davis, just give me a yes. So what I'm seeing here is that people are having problems with inflation. They're having problems. They already had problems budgeting, right? We always have, it's called the hedonic treadmill, when you just continue to spend more of what you make. So you make 50,000, you spend 51,000. You make 100,000, you spend 110,000. People don't understand that they have to cut back. You're having anxiety because you're trying to keep up with everyone else, with the newest car, with the new lease, with a larger house. You don't need all those rooms. So obviously it's going to cause some pressure. All right, so next story, the problem with Apple's big banking push. All right, so do you want the company that makes your phone to be your bank? That's the question some people are usually asking themselves now that Apple has rolled out its new Apple Card savings account, which comes with a 4.15% interest rate, well above the most traditional banks are offering. It's also not traditional because, unlike any other savings account out there, this one is backed into the operating system of your phone. All right, or it's baked in, as is the Apple Card, the credit card you must have in order to get the savings account. Thanks to digital banking and financial technology, our fintech financial services have become so easy and frictionless that you can make important decisions about a lot of your money with just a few taps. Those could be applying for a credit card, sending money to friends, or using buy now, pay later services. That's a winning feature for some people. For others, it's another way to lose. So listen, if you, I've seen so many people try to, see the negative side of Apple offering these services. Apple's trying to make more money, but they're offering some decent, I would say some good alternatives, right? They're offering a bank account that earns a nice interest rate. It seamlessly integrates with your Apple Card. So many of you already have an Apple Card, I'm sure. If you have an Apple Card, put an A in the chat for me. Let me know if you have that card. And it's a nice interest rate. I mean, it's much higher, as I said, than the Bank of Americas of the world, the Wells Fargos of the world, much more competitive. But I think that, heavy is the head that wears a crown, right? You're going to get so much, negative press when a company like that it's a multi-trillion-dollar company, and anytime they try to increase their market share and expand into new markets, they're going to get pushback. But I don't see anything inherently wrong with what they're offering. I see a bunch of people here. Shadana, Johnny Jimenez, Dark Dude. Okay. Yeah. So Apple Card is very popular. And, I feel like the Apple Card gets so much, undue negative attention because, again, I don't. This is why more opinions matter and individual, perspectives matter, because nobody's talking about the fact that the Apple Card lets people apply and get approved, right, with a soft pull, and you see your credit limit, which very few cards allow that, right? I only have a list of about 10 cards that currently allow that are available nationwide. And on top of that, it lets people with 600 credit scores, 600 FICO scores in the door. So to me, as a flat, basically a flat 2% card for all intents and purposes, it allows somebody with fair or slightly less than fair credit to get access to a nice metal credit card. I think that's great. Now, can you use it the wrong way and end up in debt? Sure, but you can do that with any card. There's thousands of cards out there. Who knows? There's probably like over 10,000 cards out there. It's insane. But I don't see anything really. There's a real problem with the Apple Card. It's just easy to get. All right, Americans racked up record consumer debt in February. So consumer credit hit a record high of $4.82 trillion. That's with a T, trillion dollars in February, according to a report from the Federal Reserve, continuing a pattern of historical high rates of debt that began at the start of 2022. At interest rate hikes add pressure to mounting personal debt, outstanding consumer revolving credit, which is mostly based on credit card balances, as well as auto loans rose 5% over February of last year, compared with January's 12.7% jump and December's 8.4%. Credit card debt has been climbing for close to 2 years following a decrease during the pandemic after falling 13% in 2020. Debt spiked 90% in 2021 and almost 18% in 2022, and record growth rate. So listen, it's like a whirlwind of bad. It's like a calamity of errors coming all together. You got inflation, you got everybody's out there traveling, which we'll talk about later. And they're using their credit cards to finance their overspending, to kick the can down the road. And people are going to end up in a world of hurt if they don't stop. So millennials and Gen Z use mobile banking 5 times. That's 5 times more than their parents. All right. So Payments' latest research shows that smartphones are already the go-to device for online financial activities for most consumers, particularly younger generations. I feel like I used to be considered young, but now I'm 35, so I'm on the older side now. It's a different feeling. You know what I mean? But if you're younger than 35, I feel like that's like the break point where you start to measure generations before 35 and after 35. But across all age groups, other than baby boomers and seniors, banking customers increasingly favor using their smartphones to conduct online financial activities and transactions by wide margins. While 58% of retail banking customers reported smartphones as their go-to devices for online financial activities, millennials were 18% more likely, and Gen Z consumers were 23% more likely to say their phones were their preferred devices. All right, 57% of consumers believe smartphones and computers are equally secure for sending and receiving money. And 56% said the same for accessing bank accounts. Slightly larger shares of consumers consider smartphones more secure than computers for sending and receiving money and for making online purchases. So, that last part, I think, if you think it's more secure, I would say that, with Apple, you have Face ID. With if you have a Samsung device like me, then you have, the fingerprint unlock. And that really does add some layers of security because, it's better than you're going to get on a laptop and computer to secure. All you have really is a passcode and a two-factor authentication with those. But biometrics is definitely better. And I think people are just more familiar. I mean, I would say that most people are using their smartphone device far more than a computer. And then I find from my personal experience at work, like I work with a lot of older folks, right? They don't do much online banking. They are more likely to go physically into the bank to transact. You know what I mean? But me personally, I'm checking those accounts daily, sometimes multiple times a day to check up on account balances, business accounts, things like that. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments, are you doing most of your banking online? Do you go in branch? If you do, how often do you go into the bank to handle business? And, are you using cash? We're going to talk about that later. Are you using cash? If so, how much cash do you keep in your wallet? I want to know the answers to all those questions. All right, next, reverse ATMs. That's a weird phrase. Reverse ATMs facilitate an increasingly cashless society. So, cash is still king, but reverse ATMs may be the way of the future as more businesses shift to cashless only transactions. By the way, I don't think cash is king. All right, I do not think cash is king. Credit is king. These reverse ATMs, also known as cash to card kiosks, are being installed in amusement parks, fast food restaurants, and many professional sports venues, and will soon be installed in airports and on college campuses. By the way, Cinemadness, I think you run an ATM business. Maybe you should look into the reverse ATM business. Maybe you could add that to your business model, and just another offering. That would be something to think about. Also, here's how it works. Consumers load money into a kiosk, and within seconds, a receipt prints confirming the conversion, and a prepaid active card is issued. Many of the prepaid cards are MasterCard or Visa, and consumers can use them anywhere the cards are accepted. Many machines don't charge fees, but some kiosks may charge a $5 fee for the card. So I'm surprised that it took this long for this to happen, because if you're using like an online bank like SoFi, I'm a big SoFi user, and they don't have any physical branches. So how am I going to get, if I do have some cash, which I normally don't? If I have my wallet here, you would see I have no cash in that wallet. But if on the off chance I do get some cash in, how am I going to get credit for that? Because I'm not gonna I use cards almost everywhere these days. I could go months without having a cash transaction. So this is definitely something that could be useful for a lot of people. All right, next, Amazon Pay lets Citi card members pay over time. So Citi credit card members can now pay over time thanks to a new partnership with Amazon. The Buy Now, Pay Later collaboration, announced Wednesday, is open to eligible Citi card members using the company's Flex Pay. It marks the first time members can use Flex Pay through a digital wallet. Card members can pay over time when using Apple or Amazon Pay at a host of online retail sites. Card members can choose payment plans of 3 to 48 months for purchases of $50 and up, with payments including in the card member's regular minimum monthly payment. So if you have something like a Citi Custom Cash like I do, another big one is Citi Double Cash Card, the Citi Premier, then you should be eligible to use that kind of that pay later feature when Amazon Pay is available at checkout. But I can't recall the last time I saw Amazon Pay available. I know it has a pretty good spread, but it's not nearly as ubiquitous as PayPal's pay button. It's on so many websites at this point. Next, we have FTC sues company for blocking credit card charge reversals. So the FTC the Federal Trade Commission and the Florida Attorney General sued Chargebacks 911. That's a great name. You know exactly what they do. And its owners, accusing them of unfairly thwarting consumers who were trying to dispute credit card charges through the chargeback process. In a complaint filed in federal court, the FTC and Florida AG alleged that since at least 2016, Chargebacks 911 has used multiple unfair techniques to prevent consumers from successfully winning chargeback disputes. According to the lawsuit, Chargebacks 911 did this by regularly sending erroneous screenshots on behalf of their clients to credit card companies that supposedly showed that consumers had agreed to the disputed charges when they had not. Wow, that's amazing. I didn't even know, here's the thing about chargebacks. I know a lot of people use chargebacks. I know that I've never used it, but I feel like there's a couple times in my credit card journey that I could have. And so if you don't know, a chargeback basically allows you to call in and dispute the charge, say, I didn't authorize the company to withdraw that amount of money, or it was fraudulent altogether. And I thought it was like a lock. You could just call in and say you didn't do it, and they would just reverse it. I had no idea that some of the time the company would come back and say, hey, I've got proof, and then you would be denied. So that was news to me. But you would think, there's got to be a way to kind of, to appeal that decision, right? I know so often people don't fight appeals. Maybe they don't know how to. They don't really feel like Googling here's the thing. If you ever in doubt with how to proceed, just Google it, because that's just a good standard way of operating. There's likely somebody who's already been there before, and it's probably an easy solution, an easier strategy to tackle it. So I would definitely be fighting that. If I knew that my credit card charge was, it was fraudulent, there's no way I'm letting that go. But that's unfortunate that they had to go through that. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and like the stream. Do it for the whole community. If you want to see more live streams just like this one, hit the like button. We're at 20 likes. Let's get that up to 50 likes. Let's get it up to 50 likes. Let's do that. All right, so next story. How major credit card networks protect customers against fraud. All right, according to the Federal Trade Commission, credit card fraud is the most common form of identity theft. The four major credit card networks are Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. All four major credit card networks offer $0 liability protection, AI-powered, yeah, you heard that's the buzzword of the year, right? Artificial intelligence powered user authentication analysis, EMV chips and card identification numbers, or CIDs and CVVs, to help protect against credit card fraud. So yeah, I think the AI powered stuff, that's like when they say AI powered credit card fraud protection, that's like when they see a transaction outside of your normal, area of commuting, or just a weird hour of time, maybe in the middle of the night, they're going to lock your card and they're going to ask you, they're going to send you a text message and say, is this you? Yes or no? And then you can proceed. But the thing is with credit card, the reason I said credit is king is because if you're using a debit card or cash, if you're using cash and somebody steals it, or somehow you are, you're just, tricked, you're deceived, you're scammed with the cash, it's gone. There's no way you're getting it back. If you have a debit card, we've seen just through the Chase issue where at the ATM, they were scammed. Basically, they went to an ATM, someone told them to use the tap and pay method, and they walked away from the ATM without closing out the transaction. Then the scammer went in and did multiple withdrawals. Those people had a really hard time getting their money back, and they had to get the news station to do a story on it to finally get Chase to, reimburse them. If you had a credit card, guess what? It makes it super easy. You call up. First of all, that money you have you're not spending money directly from your account to begin with. You have a 25-day grace period. On top of that, you have more liberal, more secure protections in place where it's much easier to get your card locked and then reimbursed. So unfortunately, the system is built that way, where if you're using credit, it's much easier to get your money back. Next, we have American Express sees flights propping up record spending volume on cards. So March was a record month, all right, for American Express, with credit card company recording its highest ever spending volume following a surge in people booking flights and eating out. Travel and entertainment as a spend category increased 39% in the first quarter of this year compared to the previous year's quarter, which was impacted by Omicron variant of the coronavirus. That card spending, which includes restaurants outside of the US, increased by 59%. Its Resy restaurant booking platform saw a record level of reservations for March, and Resy has 40 million users globally, which is an increase of 5 million in the last 6 months. American Express said spending at restaurants accelerated by 28% overall year over year. So listen, it might be technically a recession for the general public, the middle class, and the lower class, but for the credit card companies and the banks, they're doing just fine. Well, the banks that aren't, like Silicon Valley Bank, that are going under. But American Express is still Warren Buffett's one of his favorite companies because they're so profitable. They increased their market share with Gen Z. No problem paying that exorbitant Amex Platinum was, what is it, $695 for the annual fee, and they're looking good still. All right, and we see Visa profits rose, higher transaction volumes and credit card usage. So revenue and net income for Visa likely rose 8.3% each from the same quarter last year, led by higher transaction volumes projected at 3.5 trillion. Payment volumes likely rose 9.4% in the United States as households relied more on credit cards and persistently high inflation. All right, so that it's up for Visa as well. And then we see on the next slide that MasterCard, their profit beats estimates as consumers weather a tough economy. So they're doing just fine. And if you don't know, these credit card companies are earning money in 3 different ways. They earn them from annual fees, mainly, and then they also earn them from interchange fees. And these are the fees that they charge the merchants when you make a transaction, on every single transaction. All right, and then they earn money from interest charges. So they're earning money in 3 major ways, so that regardless of where regardless of the economic climate, they're going to be making money no matter what. So it's really a solid business model. All right, so this is part of my weekly newsletter. So guys, you want to see information like this ahead of schedule and some things I don't even cover on the live stream, definitely check out my weekly newsletter. Plus, you're going to get the 12 free credit limit increase cheat sheet. That's going to be in the pinned comment on this stream. All right, so check that out right now or after the stream, whenever you want. Apple Card is offering email discounts of 5 to 10% on groceries, but customers need to opt in to receive these offers. So customers who did not receive an email or see the offer in their daily cash offers were advised by a representative to log into their Apple ID account on the website, ensure that they are opted in. The rep also mentioned that there will be more future offers. Here are the steps. So all you have to do is log in with your Apple ID on the Apple website. Then you click on the arrow located at the top right-hand corner of the screen to drop down the menu. Select privacy option from the menu, then scroll down to the bottom of the privacy page, and then you're going to click on messages from Apple, and just ensure that those boxes are checked, because I think you only need to check like one of the boxes to make sure you get the offers. But it seems like Apple is really focusing on giving like their card holders more value through these monthly offers. They have been pretty consistent with that. If you don't know, Apple doesn't offer really any referrals most of the time. If they do, it's going to be like on a seasonal basis, and they don't offer any consistent sign-up bonuses either. So this is really the only way that you're going to get a little something extra with your Apple Card. Next, we have is Chase's 524 rule over? Well, here's the thing. Let's talk about it, guys. There are reports that Chase may not be consistently enforcing its 524 rule, which typically restricts approval for card applications to those who have opened fewer than 5 new credit card accounts in the past 24 months. Although it is unclear why some people are being approved for the Chase cards despite being over the limit, there are data points that suggest that this is really happening. All right, so these data points, they're all over the forums, right? I'm seeing like dozens of people say that they were over 524, 6, 7, 824, and they're still getting approved. All right. While this is not a guarantee for everyone, some people with excellent credit scores may consider speculatively applying for a Chase card despite being over the 524 rule. However, everyone's risk tolerance and credit card profile is different, and there's no right or wrong answer. So the thing with Chase, right? We saw this happen. If you don't remember, at the end of last year, they had offers going on for their business cards, record offers, right? I think it was like $900 back, $1,000 in value back on those cards. And for a period of time, people were getting approved for the business cards that were over 524 as well. So I heard that, and so I called in myself. I applied for one. I got denied because, of course, I had too many inquiries. I called into the reconsideration line, and they told me, no, that's still in place, buddy. Like 524 all day. Like they were very upfront about it. So it's really going to be hit and miss. Maybe it depends on what customer service rep you get. Maybe you want to call in, twice or 3 times just to see, maybe is it at their discretion. But one thing's for sure is that it's not an absolute rule anymore, because people are saying that they are getting approved despite being over 524. And I got to tell you, this is one of the real downsides for me with Chase and so many people, because Chase doesn't allow, it really separates, it really kind of whittles down how many people can qualify for their cards. And, if you don't go for Chase cards in the beginning of your journey and you continue and you start accumulating cards on a regular basis, then you're always going to be above 524. And so if you don't, maybe it forces you to wait like much longer than you will want to. So, and then if you want to get the trifecta, the infamous Chase trifecta, then it's going to force you to wait much longer before you can get the maximum value from those cards. And you need all those Chase cards, those 3 Chase cards to pull the points together, to get the right redemption rate, to make it worth your while. So that's a real bummer for with Chase. You can find yourself really racking. If you want higher credit limits, if you want to stack cards, you can do that with other issuers, but you really can't do it with Chase. Chase is pretty strict. Still loud? Okay. Let me turn it off. All right, let me turn that music. Maybe I'm not turning it down properly. Hold on, guys. Let's turn it down here. Just trying to get everything correct. So I hope the music is low enough. So, so Chase is, I'm happy that more people are going to be allowed to get in the door with Chase. It's about time that they kind of, I think Chase is moving in the right direction. And here's why, because you saw as of the last few months that they're allowing you to soft pull increase your credit limit with Chase. They're giving within the app, if you already have a Chase card, there's a section, I think it's the Just For You page, where you can go and see if you already, if they pre-approved you for a credit limit increase. Historically, Chase would always hard pull you to get that credit limit increase unless you got an automated increase. And really the only way to get that automated credit limit increase with Chase is to use that as your primary card, spend on it constantly, most likely spending over 30 to 40% of that that available credit limit on a monthly basis consistently to get them to raise you up. As long as I've had my Chase Freedom Unlimited card, which it's one of my older cards, really. It's been about 4 to 5 years. I've never gotten an increase on that card because I earned the sign-up bonus. I used it for a few months after that intermittently, and I really don't get much use out of it today. That's why I don't talk about it too much. But I'm at a $6,500 limit is what I started with, and that's what I still have today. But it's good to see Chase moving in the right direction with their credit limit increases. It's good to see that they are testing, right? They didn't make it a done deal, right? Because the 524 rule is still a thing, but it looks like they're testing out allowing people to go above 524 and still get approved. So it looks like they're moving in, they're getting more relaxed and they're doing, necessary updates. All right, next, I want to let you guys know about this. And if you join the newsletter, you know about these things early. My channel members knew about it. And thank you to my channel members, is it Raul and Danny? You guys knew about this days ago. New card shows your starting limit before approval. So this card is from Upgrade. You guys might not be familiar with Upgrade. Now let me tell you about this card. Was launched fairly recently in the past like 6 months. I couldn't really pin down the exact release date, but it was sometime late last year. The Upgrade One card. The Upgrade One card is a credit card that provides customers with a choice between paying for purchases immediately from their checking account or paying later with fixed installments and interest charges. So you get a $200 welcome bonus when you start using a new card, right? When you start using a new rewards checking account and make 3 purchases. And it has a fixed APR that ranges from 8.9% to 29%, and no fees other than the interest charges for the pay later feature. Customers can earn cash back rewards at the base rate of 2% for all purchases, with an additional 3% cash back for purchases made at restaurants, gas stations, and drugstores. It's important to use the pay now option when earning rewards to avoid losing their value to interest charges. So that pay now option, basically what happens is whenever you make a purchase, I believe in the app, you have the choice to pay now. And I believe you have that option available to you until like 10 a.m. or something. Until the next morning, you have to choose pay now. Okay. And it will automatically draw that from your checking account. So it basically acts as a debit card. All right. It's a credit card, but it behaves like a debit card when you choose pay now. And that's the way that you avoid paying interest on those charges. So this is the only upgrade card that works like this, to my knowledge, because the other cards, they only allow you to pay later in installments, and you always get charged interest whenever you use the line of credit. This one does not work like that. All right. Cardholders also have access to Visa Signature Preferred benefits, and there are no annual or foreign transaction fees. However, using the pay later option extensively may have a negative impact on your credit score, and it's recommended to have a monthly budget in place. The card is ideal for everyday purchases with the pay now option, and while the pay later option should be used sparingly. So if I move this around real quick, let's move this around. Boom. So this is what I was pre-approved for. So sometimes it depends on your credit profile. I already have a lot of credit available to me. You would likely get a higher limit if you have a good FICO score, maybe less inquiries on your account. I got pre-approved for $1,500. Okay, it showed me that limit on a soft pull. So if you go and you want to inquire and see what is available to you, you can go and check it out. If you like it, then you can accept the offer and they'll hard pull you. But if you don't, let it go. There's no problem, no harm, no foul, no ding to your credit report. So this is the latest card that I found that allows you to do this. So if you're seeking higher available credit, then this could be an option for you. Guys, how we doing? So guys, I want to react to a new video, and I feel like there's been a lot of misinformation going on out there about how many credit cards you should have, just some general things, right? What is the appropriate credit utilization rate? And you know, a lot of big publications are leading people in the wrong direction. There's a lot of strategists and experts saying to do, you know, to behave in certain ways with your credit that just don't make sense. They don't add up. I want to show you something here. Let's stop that.
According to financial experts, people should be carrying 3 credit cards maximum, and one of those should.
All right, so this is a video from the Wall Street Journal, and as you heard, let me go back a little bit.
People you spoke with.
Yeah, according to financial experts, people should be carrying 3 credit cards maximum, and one of those should be a debit card. One of those should also be from a different company than maybe the other credit card. So, for example, if you have an American Express credit card, it might be good that your other one is from Visa.
So I just want to say right off the bat, she said people should be carrying 3 credit cards maximum, which is wrong on its face. And she said one of them should be a debit card. That means you have 2 credit cards because a debit card is not a credit card. Okay. Now, I agree with the second statement that you should have multiple issuers, right? Because the reason and they never discussed this in the video, but the reason you want to have multiple credit card issuers is because you want to diversify who you're banking with. And diversifying is a principle that you want to use on everything you do. Diversify income sources, bank accounts, brokerage accounts. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket because that leaves you vulnerable to, you know, being debanked or having your account shut down, having maybe you get scammed, it gets hacked. You never know, but you want to have another provider to run to immediately. You know what I mean? And then also, you don't want to have 3. Why? Here's the thing. Your FICO score is what is used by credit card issuers to judge your creditworthiness, approve you for loans and mortgages and credit cards. So if you want to determine what your credit profile, what your report needs to look like, how many cards you need, you want to go to the source, which is the FICO scoring company. It's a separate company, separate from the 3 credit bureaus, and see what they like. And so the terminology that the FICO scoring company uses is high achievers. That's their phrase. And their high achievers have on average 6 credit cards. Okay. And that doesn't mean that if you have over 6 credit cards, that you're going to be worse. It's just the high achievers have 6, which is more than most people. They said 3, or literally they said 2 credit cards. That's a third. It's not enough. So let's continue.
All right, so 3 credit cards, one of those should be a debit card, but we live in a digital world. Is even that number too much? You know, is there anything that's best to keep in your phone versus your wallet?
Yeah, plastic is getting displaced too. 59% of Americans said that they increased their use of digital payment methods last year, according to MasterCard's new payments index. There's so many things that you can put on your phones these days. It turns out that the implementation of Apple Pay in subway terminals, on buses, and at grocery stores has actually helped to increase the number of people who actually put their credit cards on their phones as opposed to using the physical card.
All right, so let's talk about cash. We probably know just as many people who carry no cash as we know people who carry some.
Well, the pandemic also really played a big role in this, too. 4 in 10 Americans say none of their purchases in a typical week are paid for using cash, according to a 2022 survey from the Pew Research Center. And that's up from 29% in 2018 and 24% in 2015.
So how much cash do experts suggest people carry, if at all?
Well, listen to this. So apparently people carry an average of $67 in their wallets. That might be a little bit too much, though, some financial experts say. Chelsea Ransom Cooper, for example, who is the director of financial planning at Zenith Wealth Partners, suggests that people only need about $30.
All right, so let's stop it there. Here's the thing. I carry $0. As I said earlier, I carry zero cash in my wallet most times. If I do have cash in my wallet, it's because something happened at work and we had to split like a going away party in cash because my older coworkers prefer using that. It's never even discussed. Using Cash App or Venmo or Zelle is never even brought up. It's always cash. But I might get some money, back from an older, relative it'll be in cash. And so it'll be in my wallet for months. You know what I mean? But I never need it. Every place I go, I'm able to use Tap and Pay, Google Wallet or Apple Pay, which is nice. But guys, let me know, how much cash do you carry is in your wallet right now? How much cash is in your wallet? I wish I had mine on me right now. I think I might have $100 because that's left over from like 2 months ago when somebody, reimbursed me for a payment. I wish it wasn't there, Kamar said 22. Kamar's got $22 in his wallet. Nino says you need at least $50 broken down into 5, 1, and 10. I like the attention to detail right there, Nino. You got it broken down because what good is $50 is if it's a $50 bill, right? You need to be able to make an exchange. You got to make change, Yeah, Dark Dude said, I got 3 kids. The wallet is empty. The wallet's empty. I hear you, man. I hear you on that. The kids will wipe you out. And you got to I don't know if you give allowances or anything like that. It's got to be tough. And you got to pay for the food. The food's got to be, what are you spending? $2,000 a month on that? That's insane. Raul said, I got $40. $40 in cash. Oh, let me get this off the screen. That's not that's 2 20s. F Davis, man, you got a bunch of money on you, dude. You got $120. Yeah, what are we gonna do? $5? What can you buy with $5? Crypto Dole fan? That's cute, man. That's basically equivalent to $0 these days. Gotta pay the long guy. F Davis said, gotta pay the long guy. I actually was initially paying my landscaper in cash, but I started using Zelle because he took it, and that's been working out. Honestly, it's easy. I don't have to go to the ATM. It's one less stop to make. It's just convenient. You know what I mean? And you never have to worry about trying to get change. Like how much time? Like right now, we're in the process of eliminating minutes and seconds off our day, right? Time is precious. And so you got to fumble around. Let me see if I got some change in the house. Like you got to rummage through underneath seat cushions to get to it. I could just give you exact amounts with the, digital currency. Team Queen Bee said 1,200 in cash. Listen, I hope you stay safe, Queen Beast. All right, that's a bunch of money. You don't want to walk around here in New York with $1,200 in your pocket. Okay, LA either. Most likely, don't do it. I'm happy that you have the money though. Shout out to Christoph for using a Samsung phone. $0 in my wallet now. I hardly ever use cash. Samsung wallet is my best friend. Listen, that's my brother right there. Team Samsung. All right, so I just want to finish this up real quick.
People need cash for maybe unexpected moments like tipping, but it can also be something that people need to keep track of in their day-to-day. I spoke to this professional poker player from New York, and he said a good rule of thumb for him is to only ever carry a sum of cash in your wallet that you're mentally prepared to lose.
A poker player said that, so in case he stops by a poker game.
Yeah.
Listen, if I got to be prepared to lose, like I'm not prepared to lose my complete credit limit. I have about 5 credit cards in my wallet at any given time. I'm not prepared to lose the available credit limit on those cards. That would devastate me. Okay. Luckily, credit cards have a lot of safeguards, and that would not happen. But if I have to mentally be prepared to lose that cash, you best believe I'm keeping close to zero. I probably will keep like $40 on me. Okay. Yeah, Devin Dorsey said even the vending machines at work take plastic. You know what? I haven't seen that my way, but I know that they're out there. So I think a lot of them you can even tap and pay at this point.
Exactly. He did say that he's carried anywhere from like thousands of dollars in cash to like tens.
Now, with the exception of the poker player who carries thousands sometimes, for the rest of us, the cash we carry, it's unlikely to cover all the things that you might purchase during a given day, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that can actually work to some people's advantage. I spoke to a marketing professor in Boston who studies spending behavior, and she says that paying in cash can actually help to curb overspending because the emotional toll of spending bills is greater than when you pay with your phone or a credit card, for example.
Cuts down maybe on impulsive buying.
Yeah, exactly, because it's physically painful to see cash go away, but when you're paying with your phone or when you're paying with a card, it doesn't really register as much.
But some credit cards in cash, that can start to take up space. What should people be mindful of in terms of the number of items in their wallet?
So I learned that people who walk around with too many things in their wallets are actually at a greater risk of identity theft because those are little things that can help someone who might steal your wallet to identify who you are and get into your accounts and other sensitive information.
So that's a red flag, or that's a big red flag for anybody. All my older folks that have those thick bifold wallet, if you got a thick bifold wallet, put the letter B in the comment section, all right? Because you got those wallets that you put in your back pocket and it just messes up your alignment, like it hurts you. Why are you keeping all your receipts, all of your tax returns, your W-2s, your social security card in your wallet? That don't belong in your wallet. You got your car registration in your wallet. It's too much. All right. You should have something like this. If you have a bunch of credit cards, put them in a binder, keep them in the sock drawer. Just put the cards that you're actively using in your wallet. It should only be a few. All right. Nino's S for skinny. I hear you, Nino. I got a skinny wallet too, man. I got a skinny, what do I have? What kind of wallet? Extra wallet. Those are nice.
A good rule of thumb is to create a list of what's in your wallet first. And then from there, see if there's anything that can be removed in order to reduce the risk of identity fraud in the case of a lost or stolen wallet.
Now, you mentioned identity theft, identity fraud before. That's a scary thought for anybody. But it almost brings to light that having your ID in your wallet is like a double-edged sword because your ID is there, But at the same time, is your ID in your wallet enabling some sort of fraud?
It could, but most people can't get around without having your ID with you. And states are slowly adopting the digital ID. Only 8 states allow their residents to upload their driver's licenses or state ID cards to their Apple Wallet. But if you do lose your wallet, you want someone to still be able to return it to you. Experts suggest slipping a small piece of paper with your phone number on it in there just so that they can contact you.
All right, that's the Wall Street Journal.
Does anybody think that if you do lose your wallet, would there be a good Samaritan that would return that wallet? I want to think the best. I mean, you definitely want to hope for the best, prepare for the worst. But what are the chances that you're going to get a call and everything is intact in your wallet? I would say if I'm losing my wallet here in New York, I'm never seeing that again. Never going to see it again. All right, so I gotta take some. We have a troll in here, I think. Let me get this person out of here. Chat's moving too fast. All right, so guys, let me know. Has anybody actually been? What do you guys want to discuss? Has anybody been a victim of identity theft? And also on a positive note, has anybody been approved for a credit card or gotten a credit limit increase in the past week? Just want to shout you out. Fantastic Life. What's up, man? You said every wallet I've found, I've returned. Hopefully they return the same favor to me if I ever lose my wallet. Wow. So have you found multiple wallets in your day? I don't think I've ever come across a wallet just laying on the ground. I can't even remember the last time I came across like some cash. But I'm glad. Listen, I'm happy, man. You did the right thing by returning the wallets, and definitely a great thing to do. Oh, we got a really good Samaritan here. Team Queen Bee said, iPhone for senior citizens purse were all her ID and credit cards. Me and the lady I was dating at the time drove to her house and returned it. Wow. So you went the extra step. You didn't just like turn it into lost and found or like maybe some sort of, administrative assistant. You actually saw the address, drove there and returned it. That's above and beyond right there. Good job. Oh yeah, so we got an update. So Fantastic Life, you said found 3 in my life, but it was in college. So that makes sense, right? Everybody's partying, they're drinking. Listen, and the younger you are, the less you care about your things, right? You lose everything, your keys, your wallet, your phone. You're not thinking like that, man. We young people, and you don't have much to lose either. So the last thing in your mind is responsibility when you're younger like that. All right, Nino said, guys, if you don't know this, last time we discussed this, a lot of people did not know that you can freeze your credit reports. All right, so Nino is saying he locked down all my credit info with the 4 bureaus and check systems, locked down, frozen. So if you want to be extra cautious and disallow anybody from opening new accounts in your name, then you can do what they call a credit freeze. And anybody can do this online. I have links to this on my website, which you can access from the pinned comment in the description. But each credit bureau, you can go to their website and freeze your credit report. It's a good thing to do if you want to be vigilant and you want to be really a good steward of your credit report. Nino, man, It's a good job. Oh, F. Davis, man, thank you, sir. I really appreciate the super chat. You said, great chat today, as always. F. Davis, I appreciate you sticking around. Thank you for being a channel member and the super chat. All right, Dark Dude. This is unfortunately, this is all too much. This is the case too many times, right? This is really par for the course with Capital One. He says Capital One gave me a measly $300 increase. I want to give it back. I know, man. Capital One will they're gonna be stingy, especially if you're in a bucket. It sounds like you're in one of their buckets. Typically, the only way to get out of a credit card bucket is to apply for a brand new a card when you have a better credit profile, or basically when they deem you, in a better credit position. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. I've been fortunate enough to get approved for my Quicksilver card a few years back, and I guess I was in an excellent position at that time, and I was approved for a $15,000 limit. And then a few years later, I got one increase, and then I product changed to the Venture X, and since I product changed, I've gotten 3 increases of $1,000. So now with my Capital One Venture X, I have a $23,000 limit, and so if you're in their good graces, then they will give you increases. But really, $1,000 is not on the high end. I mean, it's still really on the low end of what other issuers can give you. And Richard Calaby, man, thank you for looking out. Hit that like button. Yes, do what Richard says. All right, hit the like button if you want to see more streams. We're gonna be back next Sunday at 7 p.m. like clockwork. All right, and the music's gonna be lower. We're gonna mix it up better, but there's gonna be more news, more live streams. Just hit that like button for me. And thank you everybody for joining. Yeah, Team Queen Bee said, I believe in karma. So when I was in high school, I lost my wallet. A young lady I didn't know found my wallet and gave it back to me with everything in it. So listen, there are some good people out there that want to do the right thing. And I'm guessing that great gesture made you want to do the right thing. And so it's kind of infectious in that way. That reminds me of like the stories you hear about people in the drive-through, and they basically they just randomly gift the person behind them in the drive-through the whole meal. They say, I'm just going to pay for their meal. Never happened to me, but I would assume that you would want to continue doing that at some point and pay for somebody else's meal. It's just a nice gesture. So this really reminds me of another subject, so I'm going to talk about it. Capital One's older ad campaigns and constant junk mail turn me off of them. So Capital One, I think they compete hard with their Venture X, and I think if you look at their bifecta, the Capital One bifecta, which is the Venture X and the Capital One Saver One cards, that is a good duo, I think, for most people. It covers a lot of categories. I believe when I did my write-up on my newsletter, it covered 8 different categories. So you're getting travel, like hotels and airlines and rental cars, and then you're getting a lot of you're getting 2x miles on general spend. So that's every category, and then you're getting 3x miles in like 3 different categories. It's a nice deal, and it's really simple. I think a lot of people would get value from that setup. But yeah, I think Capital One has a lot of improving to do. They just, other than those 2 cars, they don't have much going for them, honestly. All right, Danny, man. Thanks for attending the stream, man. Have a good night. All right, this is a good point here. Space King, thanks for saying this. And I'm gonna get to more. Maurice, I see your comment too. I'm in the South. When the hurricane season comes, you need cash. Debit machine down, auxiliary cash on me at all times. Old school. Okay. Well, I get Space King. I want to tell you, man, I'm uniquely positioned to kind of respond to this because I'm from the South. So I spent almost 30 years in South Carolina. I'll be going back to the South very soon. And I remember hurricane season. The storms get pretty bad, I would say. Power goes out for sure, maybe once or twice a year. So it is worse. I get that. Um, yeah, it makes sense. That's a really good reason. You know, I don't think I would still need the cash, but maybe I would keep some cash in the house somewhere and not touch it because I, be using cards everywhere. But thanks for sharing that. What part of the South are you from? And Maurice, I see you. You said, "Hey Cal, what's the best way to trigger elevated targeted point offers from the banks on credit cards?" Man, I haven't got this question before, and that's really something to look into. I'm not sure. I haven't seen any evidence or any information about how those offers get distributed. Every time I see any story regarding offers, it's always sort of at random, and it never gives any details as to why a certain person got an offer. There, I would have to look into it. I'm not sure, but I would assume, based on just experience, that a credit card issuer will want to extend an offer to you if they saw you using the card consistently, you keeping that your top of wallet card, and using their other credit products, using their loans, direct deposits, relationship banking basics. But I will have to look into it. Thanks for that question. Yeah, so Devin Dorsey, yeah, so Capital One is known as a subprime lender, subprime credit card lender. He said, "I always thought Capital One was for people with bad credit." Well, the thing is, the problem here is that they have credit card products that are for excellent credit. The Venture X, the minimum starting limit is $10,000 because it's a Visa Infinite card. That is geared towards high income earners and people with excellent credit. A lot of people get denied for that card, and a lot of people start at a $20,000 to $30,000 limit on that card. It's got a lot of perks, and it's a direct competitor to the Amex Platinum and the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. So I would say that they do have a lot of secured cards. They have a lot of college student cards, and they do also have those kind of annual fees, kind of scammy $40 per year for bad credit cards. So that is most of their market. So that's mostly true. Well, guys, listen, I do this every single Sunday at 7 p.m. So I'm going to be back next Sunday, 7 p.m., same place, same time. Come and check me out. And also, don't forget to go in and download the credit limit increase cheat sheet, pin comment in the description, and you're going to get access to the weekly newsletter. I don't miss a week. All right. Everybody have a great evening.